pretty excited here, you know.
Good ball.
That's the one.
Ron Willard is a 82-year-old male that has a birthday this Friday, and I'm happy to have one. I'm basically a community volunteer. I retired from Reynolds Tobacco Company. 2003, worked there for 34 years, and I was actually born in Old Salem. My chemo came on to me quite suddenly, or at least appeared to be that way. I began to have some tiredness, and I'm very active, and so I went in to see the doctor, and the doctor said that your hemoglobin, which is pretty much tells how much blood you're getting to your brain and to your other parts of your organs. And she says it's running low. I think you should go see a blood specialist. And I said, do I have cancer? And she says, no, you've got low hemoglobin, and we need to check it out and see what's causing it. So over a series of tests where they take your blood and look at that, and then they said, we need to do a couple spinal taps. And I said, whoa, this doesn't sound good. And they said, well, that's the only way we're going to determine if you have some type of blood cancer. So I had two spinal taps, or whatever they call them. And they determined that I had a funky, really rare type disease. It's called Waldenström, and then it's got a long other part to it. But the neuropathy problem started about 3 years after I had the chemo. One of the components in chemo has with it the potential, and usually it happens getting neuropathy in your feet or your hands. And it showed up. At first, it was kind of a tingling in my feet, just like under my toes. And then it started having a sensation to cold and hot. You know, like if I went to the pool and it was really cold, I could tell that was a part of the issue. In terms of how they've changed over time, I think systematically they've incrementally changed. For instance, at one time, I could get in the whirlpool because I had a Achilles issue, and it didn't seem to bother me. But now it does. So systematically or over time, I can tell that it's worsened because of that. I had to change the type of shoe that I started wearing. Had to have a lot more cushion to it. And also a little bit wider tee box. And I don't know if that's, I guess maybe it's just the way that your toes and stuff start being affected. So those are a couple things. I from a standpoint of activity, running, I had to definitely start getting a more padded shoe, and even in hiking. My symptoms are worse when I go to bed. And I do I have checked out every product that's ever been made on the networks where I can check them out, oils, creams. I've been to two different type of, quote, doctors that say they can fix it. From a neuropathy standpoint, pretty active. And so I noticed if I'm on heels, putting a lot of pressure on my feet. I can tell that it's there. It hasn't stopped me, but I'm hiking. You know, if it's steep, seems like I have to put more pressure. There's more pressure on my feet, and I tend to feel that. After I had some peripheral testing over at Navant, they said, you know, you have neuropathy, but you need to go to PT in order to help with your balance, because that can play a major role in your balance. And so I went recently to see a PT at Navant, and one of the things that we worked on, she was determining how my balance was, and some of it was good, some of it was not so good, especially with my eyes. When my eyes are closed, like taking a shower, something like that. So working basically on muscles, to improve muscles in my legs and stuff like that. The neuropathy, I'm an active person. I like to do a lot of different things, and it has affected my my emotional side at different points. So from an emotional standpoint, it's just trying to say, okay, that's the way it is. I got to deal with it. With golf, again, having the right shoes is the key to kind of dealing with the neuropathy. From a relationship, I try not to whine, you know, or have an issue such that it's, oh my God, you know, my feet hurt or whatever. So hopefully I haven't bruised any relationships.
So Ron and I have been a couple for 13 years, and I first noticed his neuropathy about 3 years ago, I guess. But you know, we hike, we still hike, we're still pretty active. But the neuropathy, since it was due to his chemotherapy, was about 8 years ago. So when we started to notice that, it was a little bit of a surprise because it was so many years after the actual chemotherapy. So Ron is very proactive about his health, and he has sought help and intervention for the neuropathy so that it doesn't interfere what we can do together as a couple. So we still hike. We don't run as much, but that was really not because of the neuropathy. That's more leg injuries and my health issues. So as far as activity levels and activities, like I don't play golf. He probably would like me to, but I don't. So I know he still plays golf, and he still takes dance lessons, and we still hike. And we have changed our travel plans a little bit, but I kind of like that. So now we're like straight flight, right? No stops. The shortest flight we can get to go to wherever we're going, which is, I don't mind that at all. So it hasn't changed what we're able to do together as a couple because we still do the same things. We maybe are a little slower, or we don't hike, you know, a 10-mile trail. We hike a shorter one, or we take more rest breaks. And that's part of getting older. But he's really good about making sure that he gets whatever interventions and care are available so that we can still enjoy life together every day.
Well, this one looks like it's a little bit into the grain, Ron.
Well, that's a little like me.
I like it.